At some point back in time, the StarCraft 2 community was asking Blizzard to introduce some new, cool and unconventional maps to encourage diversity in strategies being played, to encourage diversity in openings and bring in more possibilities for weird, non-standard games to happen, because seeing pretty much the same game unfolding over and over again makes it predictable and thus not exciting, and thus boring. And after a long time Blizzard did it, and it changed nothing, which is nobody's fault. I'll explain from a different angle. Let's say battle cruisers are too weak in StarCraft, which they are, and I'm glad they are. So let's say there is a brand new circle jerk, something like make battle cruisers great again, or whatever, and it finally affects the game. A blue post appears. We absolutely do. I think many people severely underestimate how much content we read. We, at StarCraft 2 design team, I mean what's left of it, specifically me and Steve, who is my cat, we also want more units being used in professional games. After 17 years of collecting data from our primarily sources like Reddit and our own open forums, we finally decided to implement some minor changes for the high-tech Terran battlecruiser, as it is only being used in lower divisions by players with negative MMR who have never tried producing them to know how much the unit sucks. We're making it 3 times as powerful. Consequently, we have to adjust bunker build time to balance it out. With the patch being deployed next week, we'll be keeping an eye on suggestions as we move around some UI elements for the next 2 years. Well, guess what will happen, aside from r/StarCraft losing their shit? The game plan for any Terran player from this point on is going to revolve around getting to battlecruisers every game. So technically, a new option is being introduced, which on paper makes the game having more options, meaning now the game is more diverse. But that's not correct. Even though the game now has this strategic option to go for, like wow, finally Terran has got some late game potential. In a game like StarCraft there is always the best option. And if now the battlecruisers is the best option to go for, that's everything you'll ever see, maybe with an occasional cheese or some completely random strat. Using this example as a metaphor, we can see the same thing happening with the maps. The metagame has developed in a certain environment and it ultimately shaped the balance of the entire game. So by modifying a map in a certain manner, the way the game progresses on that map will most likely to follow. But it doesn't mean the gameplay on that map got more diverse. It's now just skewed towards something else instead. One strategy or one particular opening or timing or whatever else becomes the best in the environment this map provides, and all the other options consequently become obsolete as inferior ones. In a sense, the game is now different, but it's not diverse because the current dominating approach to the game is now strictly better than the previous best one, so it's merely a change, a substitution. Think about it this way: if I put a bottle of water into a freezer, it will obviously freeze and become ice. The water by itself hasn't changed, it's still H2O, like the stats of the units are still the same, but given the new environment, the outcome is different. Of course, players are competing on many different maps, meaning if you take the entire array of disparate maps, the gameplay you'll witness will be diverse from that perspective, but each diverse part is essentially locked to that specific map, which makes the game progression on that map predictable again, which is the problem that you were trying to solve in the first place: predictability.